Tell me, how do you normally start your Schedule 1 games? Maybe play the prologue, learn the basics, or you skip the prologue altogether and start with the main quest line.
Hold it!
Today I'm going to show you the best way you can start your Schedule 1 game, along with some other helpful tips, from making money early on to the property layouts. So let's get this one started. After the opening cutscene, the first thing that we're going to grab is our watering can, so we can water the plants on the RV. This will give them time to grow as we complete our second task. Once we're done watering them, we're going to place the watering can back on the shelving and grab our trimmers for later use. Now instead of continuing on with the main quest line, we're going to start making some money because with only $100 in our bank account, we can't really start our drug empire. So heading down Main Street, we're gonna head over to Taco Ticklers, and once we get there, we're gonna head over to the motel to room number 1. Once outside room number 1, we're gonna look at the bottom left of this door, and holding right click, we can actually grab the TV from inside, and now it's in our inventory. We're also gonna do the same thing with the lamp over here at the top right of this door. Now once they're both in our inventory, we're gonna head down the stairs over here, head over to the basketball court, and grab the baseball bat. With the bat in our hand, we're gonna go over the wooden bridge and down to the end of the street here in front of the bungalow. And once we get to the bungalow, we're gonna take a left, and then we're gonna head over to the community center where we can break our first Coke machine. So holding left click, we're gonna break our first Coke machine. And once we grab all the money, we're gonna go around the corner here, and out front there's a tattoo parlor and our second Coke machine that we can destroy. After breaking this Coke machine, we're gonna turn around, head over to the gas mart, we're gonna break the ATM outside, and then we're gonna head inside and break the Coke machine. Once you gather all the money, we're gonna head over to the clerk, and we're gonna buy ourselves 10 little baggies. After buying ourselves 10 little baggies, we're gonna go outside, and don't forget the money that you broke from the ATM. Once you gather up all the money, we're gonna go across the bridge and head over to the pawn shop so we can sell our TV and our lamp for about $200. After we sell these, we're gonna break the ATM and the Coke machine inside the pawn shop and grab the money. Then after that, from the pawn shop, we're gonna take an immediate right, go over to the beer place and break their ATM. After we break this ATM, we're gonna turn around, head over to the motel, and we're only gonna break the Coke machine and leave the ATM for later use. So after that, we're gonna go down these stairs that we went down earlier, but instead of taking a left this time, we're gonna take a right, and outside the arcade is another Coke machine. After breaking this Coke machine, we're gonna look up, we're gonna head over to Bud's Bar, and we're gonna break this ATM. After breaking this ATM, we're gonna go around Bud's Bar, head down Main Street, and right next to the parking garage, across from Taco Ticklers, is another ATM that we can destroy. After breaking this ATM, we're gonna go up the street just a little bit, and right across from Slop Shop is another Coke machine that we can break. And after we break this Coke machine, we're gonna turn around, head back to Main Street, because our next ATM is right outside the clothing store. After we gather up all the money, what we need to do now is head down Main Street, and now we're gonna head over to the docks. So past this bus stop and at the next road, we can see our next ATM right in front of us. And once these cops pass by, we're gonna break the ATM, and then we're gonna break the Coke machine over here in this corner. And once we gather up all the money, we're gonna head back the way we came, and instead of going to the gas mart, which has our next ATM and Coke machine that we can destroy, we're actually gonna take a right at the car dealership and head back to our RV, because right about now, the plants should be ready to be harvested. So getting our trimmers out from earlier, we're gonna cut all these caterpillars, and then we're gonna bag them up. And once we bag everything up, we're gonna place it into our inventory, and then we're also gonna grab our watering can, and we're gonna grab the 2 planter pots, grab the 2 lights, grab the 2 stands, and grab ourselves the packaging table. We'll come back for the shelving later. And now we're gonna head out the way we came, right behind the car dealership, and head over to the gas mart, because right outside their doors is another ATM and another Coke machine that can be destroyed for money. After we gather all this money, our next step is to go right next to City Hall, actually go inside the post office, and we're gonna go over to the shelving, and we're gonna stash everything that we don't need. And once we do that, we're gonna go out the door and head over to the real estate, because outside the real estate office is another ATM that we can break. After breaking this ATM, we're gonna turn around, we're gonna head over to Handy Hank's hardware store, where we can break a Coke machine that's outside and an ATM that's inside. After breaking both these ATMs, we're gonna go around here, we're gonna head over to this ATM right outside the bank, but be careful, there's 2 cops out here that might look at you, so wait until the heat dies down before you gather the money. Then from the bank, what we're gonna do is head over to the medical center, take a right, and head over to the church, which has another ATM right outside of it. Then from the church, we're gonna turn around, go back the way we came, and at the end of the 4-way here, right across from the police station, and outside the supermarket, is another ATM that we can break. And after breaking this ATM, the next Coke machine in the ATM is inside the casino, and luckily it is 4 o'clock now, so we can head inside, break this ATM, and then break this Coke machine. And after just breaking all the ATMs and Coke machines, we had $1,200 in our pocket, But now the next step that we're gonna do is hit all the stashes. So we're gonna hit the one outside the supermarket, and then we're gonna go to the fountain, the one outside town hall, and grab the 120, and then we're gonna head over to the canal and grab the $80 in the canal. Now this doesn't blow up our RV because we haven't accepted the quest yet, so what we can do next is go back to our RV and grab our shelving that we left earlier. So once we have our shelving in our hand, we can continue on with the main quest, which is answering your phone, then going over to the payphone, and having our RV blow up. And after that, Uncle Nelson will tell us to go over to the motel, but before we do that, we're gonna go back over to the post office and grab some of our stuff that we left over there. And once we get back to the motel, we're gonna go to the office, we're gonna talk to Donna, and then we're gonna rent a room for $75. And here's another tip, after paying the money to Donna, we're gonna crouch down right behind her and wait for her to turn around, and then we're gonna pickpocket her and we're gonna grab our $75 that we just paid her. That way the room is totally free. And once we're inside the room, we're gonna place down all the items that we just got from the post office so we can go back to the post office and grab the rest of our stuff. Now that trick I showed you for the motel where we grab the TV and the lamp through the door, we can do that for other businesses as well. So if we head over to the laundromat right behind this door, if we hold right click, we can grab a medium-sized rack. The next spot, if we go over to the car wash, we can actually see the next rack through the door. Holding right click, we can grab ourselves a small storage rack. Going back to the post office, that rack that we stored everything in, we can actually grab that rack for another medium storage. The next one at Taco Ticklers is a little bit tricky, but if you go to the back door and you look to the right over here, we can grab another medium storage rack. And we can also go to the sweatshop and we can see the rack right behind the store, and we can hold right click and grab another small storage rack. And once we get back to the motel, we are walking away with 5 medium storage racks, 2 small storage racks, 20 caterpillars, 2 plastic pots, 2 lighting, 2 stands, our trimmers, and our watering can, and a packaging table. And once we're moved into the new room, we could go to sleep to advance to the next day, or we could save our game and head to the casino to make a little extra cash. Because luckily for us, time stops at 4 AM and the day doesn't advance until we go to sleep. And because we saved our game before heading to the casino, if we lose all our money, all we gotta do is just quit and reload the game to get our money back until we hit the big jackpot. A little overview to the casino, there's 3 different games that we can play once we enter. Starting off with the table on the far left is a card game called Ride the Bus. Maximum bet is $500 and the maximum payout is 10 grand. And right next to Ride the Bus in the middle is Blackjack. Maximum bet is $1,000 and the maximum payout is 2 grand. And finally over here we have the slots where the maximum bet is $100 and the maximum payout, if you can hit the 777s, is 10 grand. After staying longer than I intended to, we should have a good bit of money that we earned from the casino, so all we need to do is deposit this money into our bank account so we can use it later. But there's one problem, the ATM only allows a $10,000 limit each week. So if we want to deposit more money into our bank account, we either have to wait until next week to use the ATM or buy up some businesses and launder some money. What these businesses do is take our money from our pocket and transfer it to our bank account without having to wait the whole week like the ATM, but instead have to wait 24 hours, which is 24 minutes in real life. Those businesses include the laundromat, which costs $4,000 and can launder up to $2,000, the post office, which costs $10,000 and can launder up $4,000, the car wash, which costs $20,000 and can launder up $6,000, and finally Taco Ticklers, which costs $50,000 and can launder up $8,000. So after sleeping and continuing on with day 3, the best strat would be going to the real estate and buying up the laundromat for $4,000. This way we can launder our pocket money and still have $6,000 to pimp out our motel, which we'll be doing by going to the hardware store to buy up the rest of our supplies. And after going to the hardware store and setting up, this is the setup I have right now. In total, I have 9 grow pots. I have the 2 that we got from the RV, and I bought 7 more additional. Also, I have all the shelving from earlier, and I stocked up on soil. Now, you might be thinking this is blocking the sink, but what we can do is actually fill up the watering can. And if we click right here, we can fill up our watering can just normal. And now what we can do is get ourselves some seeds to grow some caterpillars. And after we place the order, we're gonna get a little ahead of ourselves. If we have some pocket money left over, what we're gonna do is go to Dan's Hardware and view Albert Hoover's stash, and we're gonna place some money in there. This way, we don't owe debt to Albert Hoover ever. Now, while we wait for the dead drop, what we can do is actually list our product in the meantime so we can get some customers. So if we go over to our phone and go over to our products tab, we'll go to our OG Kush. We're gonna list it, but we can up this price if we times it by 1.2. So we're gonna list it for $45, and then we're gonna sit back and wait for people to message us. And once the messages start pulling in, what we're gonna do is take them, and if they're okay with the deal, what we can do is schedule it for a night run, because we'll get a bonus for curfew if we do it late at night. Also, the deals won't expire since it doesn't go past 4 a.m. Now here's a little tip. As we can see for Kathy though, she is right next to the barbershop, and if we look at her, she is right in front of 2 cops over here. So what I recommend doing when you're first starting out is taking your baseball bat, and we're gonna knock out both these cops. And after we do that, we're gonna run away, and either you can outrun the cops, or if you're lucky, you can get up on one of these buildings and they can never reach you. And then we'll just wait it out until the wanted level goes down. Now after it goes down, we can go over and complete our deal right in front of the barbershop, and as you can see, there's no more cops outside Taco Ticklers. So after we complete our last deal, if we get back to our motel, all the plants should be ready to harvest, and all we're gonna do is harvest them and package them up before we end the day. Now the corner plants are going to be a little tricky to harvest. Luckily we can rotate the plant using A and D to get them so they're not being blocked by this pole right in front of us. And if we need more baggies, which we definitely do, luckily Gas Mart is open 24/7. So we were able to harvest 7 of the pots because 2 of the pots only got to 99% or 98%, which means they will not continue until we sleep to the next day. So after packaging up all our caterpillars, we can go to bed, right? Well, actually what we're gonna do is grab our soil, and we're gonna replace the soil in our pots that we harvested from. This way we get a head start on day 4. The other thing that we can do on day 3 is try to get potential customers. So if we look at our map by pressing M, and what we can do is go to these customers and offer them some free samples of caterpillars. And if they reject my offer, I'm just gonna knock them out like so they learn their lesson. And after getting as many customers as we can on this day, we can go to the phone, talk to our uncle, and he'll tell us to offer free samples, which we already did, by the way. And now we need to talk to Mrs. Ming at the Chinese restaurant to get ourselves a new room. And we're gonna buy the room for $800. But before Miss Ming goes back in her room, what we're gonna do is take our $800 back once she turns around, and we got a small sliver to do it, and oh, I missed. Oh, she's fighting me, she's fighting me, she's fighting me. Ah! Luckily she did not call the cops. Hey, I'm in my room, I'm in my room. I think she calmed down. Second time's the charm, and no, no, I want my money back. I'm not paying for this room. You can be mad all you want. That's an invisible line. You can't come in here. Your pocket's right there. Why can't I pickpocket you right now? Okay, third time's the charm, okay? Boom, got it. And just like that, we're not paying for our room. And now what we're gonna do is move our grow tents from the motel into here, and I'll show you the layout I'm gonna use for the sweatshop. And this is the setup I came up with. In total, I have 15 grow pots. I have 5 across the front over here, 1 behind the sink. And to get over here, I'm gonna have to jump crouch on top of the sink, get over here. Then I have 4 grow pots in the middle, leave this open so I can get back here, and I have another set of 5. And then over here in the corner, I have my packaging station, and I got myself 6 large storage racks. And then meanwhile, in our motel, this is where I'm keeping a whole bunch of large storage racks for extra storage and our bed. So our goals today are gonna be the following: getting more customers by offering free samples, and also trying to get friendly relationships with one of these 3 people. Also, while we're at it, we earned enough money in our bank account to unlock another business, so we're gonna go over to the real estate and buy ourselves the post office. And after we buy the post office, we can't forget to launder the money so we can have an extra $4,000 on top of our other $2,000. Okay, let's test out these new trimmers I unlocked. I cannot see half the plant. No, I was worried about this. No. Oh no, I can't. Oh, this is not good. Okay, note to self, do not put a plant here. I cannot get that. Okay, so this plant is completely useless now. I see it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I can get this freaking thing out of here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I did not screw myself over. The other cool mechanic I forgot to mention in this game, after you sell your product to your customer, you can just go right behind them and pickpocket it right from them again. This way we don't lose any product and we can resell it to another customer. I'm in prime position to pickpocket you, don't mind me. And boop, got it. That's mine. Sucker. So now what I'm gonna do is go back to the sweatshop and get my plants ready for the next day, and also skip ahead for when I have enough money to buy a couple more properties. So after spending more time at the casino and laundering our money on the side, we have enough money in our bank account to buy the next couple properties. The next property that we're gonna go over is the bungalow. Now before we pimp out the bungalow, we need to get access to the warehouse, which is Hoodlum 5, but there's another way we can access this. And the only thing that we're gonna actually need to have to access this is wait until 6 p.m. and have ourselves a vehicle. Because if we have a vehicle, we can actually enter through the garage doors to get access to the middle warehouse. And once we drive inside the warehouse and we take an immediate right, the guy we need to talk to is Oscar, who has all the needs like the hardware store. And luckily for him, he only takes cash and not from our bank account. Now sadly, the only thing that we'll have to keep on going to the hardware store for is shelving, so we still have to have money in our bank account just to buy the shelving to store our product. And the good thing about having a vehicle in here, if we hit this button over here to load into the vehicle, and the van having the most space, it does not go into our inventory, instead it goes into our vehicle's inventory for usage. And after a couple hours, this is the main layout I came up with for my bungalow. Through the front door and then the main living room, on the immediate left, I have 10 grow pots over here with sprinklers and soil dispensers. I also have the rigging up so the lights are shining on them so they can grow faster, and the pots are the ones that can hold the moisture longer. Then along the wall over here, I have Mark II mixing stations so we can mix different variants. Then if we go into the kitchen over here, I got myself the Mark II packaging station to package a little bit faster, and if I turn behind us, I have a bed for sleeping, and I have all these storage racks. All these storage racks hold my supplies for mixing, my soil, my plants, and the stuff that I packaged up. And if we go over here and we open up this door, there's 17 more grow pots inside this room over here. And since I have these sprinkler stations, all I gotta do is just hit the button and then they'll water all the pots for me. So there's no need for me to use the watering can anymore. And luckily for us, to get all these planters, all we gotta do is just ride on the sprinklers and we can get access to all the planters in this first room. And also during that time, we reached Hoodlum 5 and we unlocked the ability to hire workers, and I hired one worker, a chemist, to work at the sweatshop to make some peanut brittle. And inside the sweatshop, I have a simple layout. I have his bed over here with some storage over here that he can use to make his peanut brittle. I have 2 ovens and 2 cooking stations and 2... Ah! Kyle! You madman! What is your problem? Opening up that door, you scared me! Now, after we were so rudely interrupted by Kyle over there, let's continue on with the tour. And finally, there's 2 storage racks that we can use to keep our peanut brittle. Also, to get the workers working, open up the briefcase and fill it full of money. But sadly, this worker will not work past 4 a.m., so that's why he is out here, just sitting here. Now, also during this time, I purchased the barn property, and this is the layout I came up with. And I hope you're ready for this one because it gets a little insane. And as soon as we get to the barn and we open up the barn door, we're on the first floor, which has our 92 planters and our shelving to hold our many things. And a little tour of the first floor goes like this. On the immediate left, our immediate shelving holds all our soil that we use for our soil dispensers. Then over here on the far left, we have 2 rows of planters for a total of 16 each, all the way to the back, but leaves a little space so we can get access to the staircase over here. Then the shelving back here holds our first mixing ingredient that we use to mix our product. Then right next to these planters, we have our next shelving that holds our second ingredient. Then in the middle here, we have 2 rows of planters for a total of 14 each. So 14, 14, and they go all the way to the front, but leave a little space so we can get access to the front door. Then next to these, we have all the shelving for the caterpillars that we clip from our plants. Then we look behind us, and the shelving over here that leads all the way to the back holds the seeds for our products. And then finally, we have 2 more rows, 16 each, that go all the way to the back, but leave enough space for 2 more shelving that I'm missing. And now time to show you the upstairs. And this is where we do the mixing and we do all the packaging. And once we go upstairs, we have another packing machine and we have many shelving up here and we have all our mixers up here. Now another thing I noticed, you can accidentally click the soil dispensers if you get too close, even if they're still full. So make sure that you don't accidentally click it. Otherwise, it will empty the soil and we'll have to use another bag to refill it. Now the strategy I've been doing is the same as before, is scheduling all my deals way late because the time will stop at 4 a.m. and the deals won't get canceled. That way I have time to mix up all my ingredients for the mix that I'm selling for. Now you might ask yourself, why don't you have workers for your bungalow and your barn? Well, workers cost money and that money should actually go to me and not the workers. Also, I noticed I have enough money in my bank account to buy the last property, which is the warehouse down by the docks. Now, after going to the real estate and purchasing the docks warehouse, we have access to all the properties, and the only property that we need to pimp out is the dock warehouse, but I'm actually going to end the video here because the mental strain that this video caused making this is immensely. So if you want to see the layout of the docks warehouse, let me know in the comment section below, and if this video hits 200 likes, I'll show that in the next video that I do of Schedule 1, along with the different products that we didn't go over in this video. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing to help the channel grow. If you want to see a funny video, click this video right here. And like always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.